Hey, what's going on? Coach Luca here, and I'm going to do a little bit of a tutorial on one, how to save your shoulder joint a little bit more and build your pecs more. I mean, come on, double whammy, right? But the reality is, look, as much as I love the barbell bench press, for most people's shoulders, it's not a great fit, and over time, get pretty banged up. Like, if you know what, if you have great shoulder health, great, I would say, scapular, I would say mobility and control, and you have great thoracic mobility, and you take care of your shoulders and do soft tissue work, hey, you can still do bench press. It's not like an evil exercise. But here's the thing. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of lesson in, I would say, anatomy as well. Think of it this way. You'll see even on the dumbbell bench press, which is a great exercise for building the chest and the press pattern, that many people will keep this elbow high kind of position. Now, there's a little thing called the subacromial space right here. Okay, so imagine that, like, usually when you come up here, you go bone on bone, you close that subacromial space. And it's the same thing if you go here, you close that subacromial space. And what that tells me is, like, this is too close to, number one, not really great for the joints. So we like to keep it right about like this kind of 45-degree angle, and it feels better. Your shoulder has more room to move, okay? Now, so that's one of the things. Even when you bench press, right, you want to keep that 45-degree angle. Now, number two is if you look at your muscle fibers at a pec, if you kind of like Googled your little, anatomy, and you looked at the muscle fibers, you'd see that they run in this fashion, right, in this direction. So when you're up here, a lot of times you put a lot of stress into the shoulder, okay, not in necessarily a good way. So one of the things that we do quite a bit of is, one, do a slightly elevated bench. Meaning, so right here, what we're gonna do, elevate, just a little bit. And the thing is, you could also put a plate underneath. If you don't have that, you could put a plate underneath. And it just puts your shoulders, I would say, in a little bit of a better position. So even if you were doing a barbell bench, you could do this, obviously. Today, we're gonna focus on a dumbbell bench. And I'm gonna show you a couple things, right? So remember too, there's a certain range of motion that everybody can get. So if I go to right here, that might be the full stretch of the muscle, even though my elbow can go further. See, but now that's beyond the end range of the muscle. That's the end range of the joint now, okay? So we want the end range of the muscle. And a little drill that I like to do with, I would say, clients too, is to feel where they get the most tension in the pec. So as I set up my dumbbell bench, okay, a lot of people will fly up here, okay? And then I say, hey, bring the elbow a little bit in. Would you feel, whoa, 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 I feel way more tension in the pecs, okay? So when they'll come up, and their shoulder feels better, okay? The other thing too is not to bang the dumbbells. Matter of fact, you actually want to have them a little bit out because now gravity's pulling them and my pec has to work. So notice that 45-degree angle, I come down to where I feel the stretch in the muscle, but not beyond where my joint is going to get banged up. And then I press up, squeeze, imagine that I'm squeezing an imaginary balloon, but I would say the dumbbells are actually almost like falling off a little bit, right? So play around, for instance, take a lighter weight as you're ramping up, and you can go elbows in a little bit, don't feel as much tension. Ooh, right there. Right there is maximum tension for me in the pec. Boom. Okay? This is what's so great about it. You can be safe and use lighter weights and find that right there. Okay? And I'm using a lighter weight here, but what's happening is, first of all, everybody's shoulder anatomy is a little bit different, right? So if you play around a little bit, you'll feel that maximum tension. And you'll also feel your shoulder, I would say, having more space. A lot of times people go like, oh man, that takes the pressure off of my shoulder or neck, because they might have some neck issues, and they feel a lot more in the pec. And you'll also feel a lot more, I would say, not that you're going after soreness, right? We're not saying that soreness is a predictor of improvement necessarily, but those feel sore because it's such a different angle, right? So the next time you're doing, especially your dumbbell bench press, think about that, bringing those elbows closer to the lats. Do a ramp up set. So imagine using, for me, 30 pounds, then 45 pounds, and I'm doing sets of 10 reps. And I'm just finding that position where I feel the most tension in my chest and the least on my shoulders, okay? So yes, if we're doing incline, similar position, right? And not to say that you should never go here, but honestly, if you want to have healthy shoulders, if you want to build your chest without banging up, and getting injuries and nagging stuff going on, this is the way that you do it. Try it out, let me know how it goes.